Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Godzilla Podcast. Alright, let's talk about a new and interesting set of news that involves a world that could have been with Godzilla, but is still definitely in the realm of anything involving large monsters and large battles. Of course, I'm talking about the news that I try to give every now and then related to Pacific Rim. Now, with Pacific Rim, the last time I talked about the movie, it was a couple days back. It was with the impending news that, sure enough, the film itself, the Pacific Rim 2, which was being titled Pacific Rim Maelstrom, had some kind of delay placed on it. No news as to why, no news as to the reasons behind it, at least openly, but no doubt there was a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. And I had surmised back then, just a couple of days back, that after the reveal of the new Warner Brothers deal between themselves and Legendary Pictures involving the mishmash of both King Kong and Godzilla in terms of a whole new world or a whole new picture sometime in the future, then I surmised back then, and I said that pretty much means that Pacific Rim is going to be out of the water. I believe those were my exact quotes. And the reason for it is because if you have those three properties, you have Godzilla, you have King Kong, and you have Pacific Rim, obviously you're going to try to go with the most profitable, most chance of success properties, and that clearly is Godzilla, and that clearly is King Kong. The very vague success level with Pacific Rim was always that, very vague, because now comes the news that, and I've included a link for it directly below. It's a great piece. I check it out. I highly recommend you to check it out when you have a chance. It's from the Hollywood Reporter. But in it, they pretty much state that Pacific Rim has been placed on an indefinite hold. Those are the worst set of words to hear when it comes to anything involving production of movies. A better term for it is development hell. If you've ever heard of that term, you'll know exactly what I mean. And the reason for it is because once a movie is placed in that status, it pretty much means that it's on its last legs. The only chance a film like that has of ever coming forward and being developed is if somebody like let's say a certain successful filmmaker or a certain mega successful producer sees it as a project that they can do, and there has to be that perfect scenario because no one else from a studio level is going to take that chance. And so the Hollywood Reporter, it cites some clear examples as to what led to this. There's the fact, of course, that when it comes to the Pacific Rim film and it making so little money here in the U.S., but somewhat of a success overseas, the biggest negative is the fact that the film cost too damn much. I mean, it was near $200 million. And again, I go back to what I've mentioned before with this guy, Guillermo del Toro. He is one guy that can never say no to a large budget. I mean, he will absolutely use every bit of money within a film's budget and then ask for more. Be damned when it comes to the budget making sense. No, in his case, it's his movie, it's his vision. Everyone has to pony up the dough, and then if it's not a success, oh well, at least he got to make his movie. So, with that, in fact, as far as the biggest factor, other factors include Legendary's deals with Universal. The way Hollywood Reporter was mentioning it, they kind of started off with a set of duds earlier this year. There was a movie called Black Hat, which didn't really make anything, just less than $20 million, which is horrible, very, very horrible. And then there was the original sci-fi epic Seventh Son, which barely made over $100 million. And so those two movies were kind of iffy. And then even then, Legendary Pictures going forward, they have two other movies. Of the two, the one that most people are looking forward to is called Warcraft. That one is actually looking more and more like another Pacific Rim, where there's a chance it could be a success, but there's not too much familiarity with that particular realm outside of hardcore gamers. And even then, it's a niche set of gamers, those that love like the Dungeon and Dragons type stuff. So that one is also being seen iffy. And in an ironic bit of news, it looks like Warner Brothers may not have necessarily, according to the piece, may not have necessarily wanted to welcome Legendary Pictures back with open arms, but even they saw that it was making more sense because, get this, I did not know this, King Kong is open domain. Everyone can own King Kong. It is available for you to use today. If you wanted to make a movie about King Kong yourself, by all means, go ahead, make a comic book, by all means, it's good to go. But Warner Brothers saw a deal whenever it came to their Godzilla film, and so they wanted to make sure that that is the best success for Godzilla is to eventually have something involving King Kong in that world, especially since we had the very, very successful 60s film that to this day remains a cult classic of sorts. Lots of good news, so check it out when you have a chance. I've included the link below, and you'll get a good idea as to pretty much the fate of Pacific Rim and what that means obviously for the success of Godzilla and then for the success of King Kong. In fact, I'll finish this video with this quote. I mean, this is the bit of news itself about Pacific Rim, and it goes to show the apathy that the studio seems to have now. It says, Legendary wanted to produce a sequel to Del Toro's Pacific Rim, which was made under the Warner's deal and turned into one of those films that grosses a lot while being so costly that a follow-up isn't a sure thing. Sources say Legendary liked that the original outperformed exceptionally well in China, where the company is heavily invested, but for now, the project, which has been ramping up to make a release date in August 2017, has been halted indefinitely and will be pushed back if it gets made at all. So, in this world of Hollyweird, whenever you hear those words, you can pretty much put the nail in the coffin. It is done. So, sorry you Pacific Rams fans out there, but that's it. That's the news that's being reported today with regards to any potential sequel. The only chance this film has again is if some director or some producer sees it as another opportunity, mainly as a fan, to do so, and they have that influence, or if sometime in the future maybe those characters get sold and they get incorporated, let's say, into the world of King Kong, or who knows. But anyways, fascinating stuff. Check it out. Thanks again, everybody. Take care. Bye.